The man makes his first outdoor shower. A passing woman just happens to see him. The woman never dreamed about it, that someone would bathe in this remote mountain stream. Curious, she considered following him to ask, but the man ignored her. He hurried away without a word. So the woman had to gloomily go home. But that night at the dinner table, she looked up and was shocked by an amazing sight. The strange man she encountered today was sitting right across her window. So she smiled and greeted him, but was seen. The man quickly pulled down the curtain. Yet this elusive mystery made the woman want to get closer, so much so she lost sleep all night, continuing to think about the previous day's events. However, on her first day working at the cafe, she surprisingly saw the man again. After finishing her tasks, she thoughtfully walked to the grocery store across the street. She looked around at the cheap goods. She picked out an old notebook. This left the owner speechless, because this lady was actually trying to buy a manual on male anatomy. But when the owner saw the woman glance at the cashier, he seemed to understand what was going on. He'll give it to the woman as a free gift, but she insists she has to pay. The boss politely avoids the situation. Lovely. Thank you. I made them from white and black ink. Cashier card? Although they top, the woman is still treated coldly, but she doesn't give up. She plans to try again sometime. However, a friend warns her, just back in town for a while. Best to shut doors and windows at night, because the town's been buzzing recently that the reclusive new man is a wanted felon. This makes her suppress her desires. She won't disturb him anymore, but on the weekend, she is weeding in the yard. Yev cannot start the broken lawnmower. Then the man approaches her, complaining that she disturbed his sleep, so he grabs the machine. And miraculously, the lawnmower starts. He then looks derisively at the woman, then turns away to trim the lawn. Honestly, you can't cut my grass. The man pretends not to hear. He just trims along the yard's diagonal. He really helped out. The woman must invite him for breakfast, but the man paused when he heard that. He silently left the yard. Someone like him doesn't really look like a fugitive, so the woman started to pursue him again, but he seemed out of reach. This painful desire felt unattainable. It forced her to try to numb herself with alcohol, but before she knew it, she was dancing in the yard across the street. This caught the man's eye. After a few asks, it was clear she was drunk. She even vomited on his pants, but he didn't mind helping her inside. He gave her warm water to wake up. Seizing the moment, she grabbed his hand and traced the tattoo. She realized it was artwork from children's books. Seeing he had been found out, the man got wary fast. He just sent the drunk woman home. But the woman at home, like usual, stood by the window. But unlike before, he didn't close the curtains. He just looked worried. He turned off the light at the window. Why did he look so sad? Her heart filled with more questions, but she felt their distance was no longer unreachable. The man cut the last of the weeds. He finished with the diagonal. Then he put on headphones and helped trim the bushes by the fence. He refused even small pay. So the woman tried again to have him stay for breakfast. This time he did not speak, but he caught his little dog Zeus, and together they visited. However, he saw a little girl in the yard. She waited for her dad to return. The woman seemed to hide a secret. She said father went very far away, but the little girl no longer believed mother's words. Since moving here from the old house, she had not seen any feathers. The man happened to witness the scene. The woman hurried to explain. Before moving here, there would always be bird feathers scattered around the door. It was hard to keep up with. However, to cheer up her daughter, the husband claimed those were traces left by angels. It meant the happiness bestowed by angels would follow. Unexpectedly, the girl believed it. Each time she asked to take photos, but after her husband's fatal car crash. And the 4-year-old little girl until now doesn't know her father is gone. After hearing the woman's story, the man casually leads Zeus away. I can't stand the little brat crying non-stop. Facing the man's coldness, the woman goes inside for her breakfast. Her daughter bursts in, excitedly claiming angels found them. But that's impossible. Floating, pure white feathers. Joy has arrived. Dad is coming back. But in the yard, there's only a man mowing with headphones. The woman seems to have found the answer. As usual, she snaps a photo of her daughter. To her surprise, the photo calms her down. Then she turns her gaze to the man. Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about. The woman thanks him for helping with the child. This time, she insists on inviting him to dinner. With the woman's urging, the man has to give in, agreeing to have dinner together tonight. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. She must make the man fall for her. After dinner, the woman pulls out liquor, ready to finish it all. But in this quiet night, the man remembers his deceased wife and child. His tattoo is an illustration from his son's favorite children's book. Even the music playing in his headphones is recorded by his son. But today, he used the last 2 batteries at home. Little did he know he had a troubled past. Sorrow surrounded him. The woman gives up on pursuing the man. Before parting, she gets 2 new batteries for her player, hoping to help him through this sad time. However, the next morning, the man appears in the yard, pushing a lawnmower. He came to borrow the shower. Because the water heater is broken, this is why he bathes outdoors. She even offers him her husband's clothes. After lulling her daughter to sleep, the woman rushes to the living room to see the man dressed after his shower. This reminds her of her deceased husband. Looking into each other's sorrowful eyes, they finally exchange names. The man is named Tristan Cole. The woman is named Elizabeth Steve, perhaps longing for happiness again. Elizabeth clings tightly to the second chance. She boldly reaches out to Tristan, burying her head in Tristan's chest. I've really not run out of hot water. I should go now. It's clearly within reach, yet I still can't win his heart until my daughter suddenly appeared in the living room. That's when Lisa lets Stan go. But when I soothed my daughter back to sleep again, if I just held on a bit longer, I could surely keep that man. Now she must return to her room. But I never expected. The window across the bedroom was wide open. Stan stood by the window, looking this way. Lisa's heart surged with desire. She stepped through her window, quietly went to Stan's bedroom to be in Stan's arms. After their tender moments, Stan still couldn't accept Lisa because he hadn't moved on from his late wife. Being with Lisa would only increase his guilt, so Lisa made a suggestion. They could treat each other as if they were dead. That way, they could move forward. Thus, the two began to use each other to get through life. That day, Stan brought the mom and daughter to his usual feng shui spot for clarity, hoping Lisa would have a distraction-free place to breathe easier when upset. That would make her feel somewhat better. He always takes time to play with his daughter. His daughter loves it dearly. Lisa can see his desire to keep moving forward, but she still feels uneasy. Stan always hesitates whenever he touches Lisa to move forward. Stan takes her to see her true self. They come to the yard. They enter the shed. It's not cluttered like the living room. Instead, it's neat and filled with various items. These are all things Stan's son loved. The engravings remind him of the past he can't let go. He even attempted suicide before his son's funeral because death would make things easier. Now that you're here, with you, it's easier to live. Lisa realizes they can't truly move forward by exploiting each other, so she decides to be honest and reveals her secrets to him. Notes her husband wrote to her while he was alive. They're her most treasured reminders during the toughest times. She relied on her living daughter to survive, yet she still carries some unhealable scars because she often rereads the notes her husband left for her daughter to have a complete home. The moment she sees Stan, she felt an intense longing for a father figure for her daughter. Her biggest hurdle now is how to tell her daughter, her dad is gone. I'm fine. You don't need to act fine. Using each other and claiming to let go just deceives ourselves. Only by mending each other's broken hearts can we move forward. The next morning, welcoming a new beginning, they began to exchange little notes. The sweet nothings helped them lean on each other, living an ordinary life together. Dad's love is now restored for her. These days became as easy as breathing. For years, Stan had been solitary. He finally tried to socialize again. Lisa invited him to a town party.